This is going to be one of, if not the best offensive teams in the league, this Laker roster. When you look at what they went out and did, Sandro Mamu, like one of the best shooting bigs in the game, like him matching with Kessler Walker, right? Yeah. His ability to stretch the floor. And so when you think about Quentin Grimes, this team is going to make the playoffs.
What does an NBA team look like when it tears down its whole identity in one summer? Let's go back. Let's remember the last time we saw the Lakers on the floor.
Hachimura got a three. That's 3 first-quarter triples for Hachimura.
Game 4 against the Thunder. The Lakers sent out a starting 5 of LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, and Austin Reeves. A few hours later, they got swept out of the playoffs. Just like before, everyone knew this team wasn't good enough. Now fast forward 1 month. 4 of those 5 starters are gone. Most teams add 1 guy, lose 1 guy, and hope it's enough. But this summer in LA is different. This is close to a full reset. This isn't just swapping role players. The Lakers finally faced a problem they'd been avoiding for years. One choice closed the LeBron James chapter, sent away most of the roster, cost them a huge chunk of their future picks, and could change this whole franchise's path. But before we talk about who's coming in, you need to know who walked out. On June 30th, around 9 a.m., just 6 hours before teams could call free agents, LeBron told the Lakers he was finishing his career somewhere else. And just like that, an era ended quietly. 8 seasons in LA, his longest run with one team, a title in 2020, banner number 17. Along the way, he became the league's all-time scoring leader in the Lakers jersey. At 41 years old last season, he made another All-Star team, scoring 20.9 points on 51% shooting with 7.2 assists and 6.1 rebounds. He led the team in fast break points, led in paint scoring, and finished second in assists. The playoffs didn't slow him either. His minutes went up and he averaged 23.2 points, 7.3 assists, and 6.7 rebounds, carrying the Lakers past Houston before OKC swept them. Short term, losing LeBron lowers the ceiling. The long term, it changes everything. At his age, LeBron no longer fit a team trying to build around younger guards, so his exit gave the Lakers something rare, real freedom. Whether that becomes a step forward or a step back depends on what they do next. Now, if LeBron was the only big name leaving, that would be normal. Teams lose stars all the time, but that's not what happened. The list kept growing. Right behind him, Marcus Smart. Smart turned down his $5.4 million option for next season, the last year of his deal, and signed with Houston instead. His numbers don't jump off the page. Last year, he averaged 9.3 points, 3 assists, 2.8 rebounds, and 1.4 steals across 62 games. But the Lakers didn't need Smart for stats. When he played, they outscored teams by 256 points. When he sat, they got outscored by 112. That swing barely shows up in the box score. Smart's real job was defense. He guarded the toughest player every single night, whether that was Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, or Anthony Edwards. Same story in the playoffs. He guarded Houston's Amen Thompson and Reed Shepherd, then took on MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Lose him, and you lose your defensive anchor on the perimeter. And Smart wasn't the only loss that hurts the team's structure. Right after him, the Lakers lost something they barely had: shooting. Luke Kennard arrived at the trade deadline and quickly became one of their best weapons off the bench.
Kennard to win the game! Yes! 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 Luke Kennard!
Add Kennard's loss to Smart's, and the Lakers gave up 2 key jobs at once: tough perimeter defense and clutch bench shooting. Both are way harder to replace than people think. And it didn't stop there. Rui Hachimura just signed a 2-year, $28 million deal with the Clippers. This one hurts in a different way. It's about chemistry. Hachimura already knew the system and had built real trust with the team's top playmakers. Step back for a second though. This wasn't even a bad Lakers team. They made the second round without Luka for part of the year. In a stacked West with San Antonio and Oklahoma City, that was about as good as it gets. So why let everyone around LeBron leave too? Because when it was all done, the Lakers had lost their best shooter in Kennard, their top defender in Smart, their most efficient forward in Hachimura, and their franchise legend in LeBron, all in one summer. Put those 4 together and it looks more like a teardown than a tune-up. And if that's your first reaction, that might be exactly what Rob Pelinka wanted you to think, because none of these moves happened by accident. Every single one was clearing room for one thing, and that thing came straight from Luka Doncic himself. Even before LeBron made it official, this had already become Luka's team. Once he left, there was no question left. Every move from here runs through Luka. When you land a superstar like Luka, keeping him happy becomes the entire job. Luckily for the Lakers, Luka had already told them exactly what he needed. Build around him, and there are a few must-haves. A strong center who thrives in the pick and roll, defenders who can guard for him, steady three-point shooting to open up his passing lanes, and extra scorers to take pressure off him. That's the exact checklist the Lakers went out and filled. And once LeBron's exit freed up more than $50 million in cap space, they had the money to go after all of it. Free agency opened, deals started flying around the league, and the market moved fast. The Lakers just watched and waited. Then, in about 35 minutes on one Wednesday morning, it all came together at once. The Lakers struck a sign-and-trade with Utah for Walker Kessler. Then, they quickly signed free agents Sandro Mamukelashvili, Quentin Grimes, and Colin Sexton. Out of everything, one move stood above the rest. For years, the Lakers had one hole they couldn't fill: center. If Pelinka only fixed one thing this summer, it had to be this. Everyone knew it. Luka knew it. The front office knew it. Every fan watching knew it. All summer, two names kept coming up as top targets: Walker Kessler and Jalen Duren. In the end, the Lakers made their choice. They built a sign-and-trade with Utah for Kessler, sending 2 future first-round picks in 2031 and 2033, plus pick swaps in 2028 and 2030. Then signed him to a full $130 million deal. That's a massive bet. So what exactly are the Lakers paying for? Last season alone doesn't tell the story. A torn labrum limited Kessler to just 5 games before season-ending surgery. He did show new range in that short stretch, hitting 6 of 8 threes. But 5 games isn't enough to judge anyone. So go back a year further and it gets interesting. In 2024-25, Kessler averaged 11.1 points on 66% shooting, grabbed 12.2 rebounds, and blocked 2.4 shots a game, one of the best interior bigs in the league. But his value goes deeper than the raw stats. Per Basketball Index, Kessler ranked in the 97th percentile in rim deterrence, 90th in rim disruption, and 99th in rim protection. On offense, he ranked 89th in screen assists and 90th in roll man possessions. Put it together and you get a very specific type of player: elite rim protector, screen setter who creates space, lob threat who punishes defenses in the air, basically the exact center Luka has always played his best with. For years, Luka has turned rim-running bigs into stars through the pick and roll. Now, Kessler gets paired with one of the greatest passers in NBA history, and it helps both sides. Kessler covers up Luka's defensive weaknesses, while Luka sets Kessler up with the easiest looks of his career. The price was steep. 2 firsts and 2 swaps is a lot for a guy coming off a major injury. It's fair to wonder if Kessler is worth it, but the Lakers weren't just paying for who Kessler is today. They're betting on who he becomes. At just 24, he fits perfectly next to Luka and Austin Reeves, and finally gives LA a long-term answer at center, the exact center their new franchise player asked for. The Kessler trade wasn't the end though. With Smart and Kennard gone, the backcourt was thin. So next up was depth, and the answer was Quentin Grimes. The Lakers gave Grimes a 4-year, $60 million deal. Last year, Grimes played 75 games, averaging 13.4 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 3.3 assists on 45% shooting. His three-point number, 33.4%, won't wow anyone, but his scoring will. He dropped 20 or more points in 15 different games, including a 31-point night against Portland. But the best part might not even show up in the stats. He's already played alongside Luka. Back in Dallas, the Mavericks scored 120.7 points per 100 possessions with both of them on the floor. Small sample size, but that's the chemistry the Lakers are betting on. Grimes also brings youth and athleticism and defensive flexibility. He can guard at the point of attack and take on some of what Smart used to handle. He won't be Marcus Smart on defense, but that's not the job. They just needed a younger, well-rounded piece who helps on both ends and keeps improving next to Luka. Even after Grimes, one big question stayed unanswered. Who runs the offense when Luka sits? That was one of the ugliest problems for the Lakers last year. The moment Doncic hit the bench, everything slowed down. So instead of grabbing another point guard, the Lakers went after a scorer. Colin Sexton has built his whole career on one thing: getting buckets. And he's gotten way more efficient doing it lately. Last year, split between Charlotte and Chicago, Sexton averaged 15.4 points, 3.3 assists, and 2.3 rebounds on 48.5% shooting and over 40% from three. That outside shot has quietly become one of his best tools. He came into the league as a slasher, but he's shot over 39% from three every season since 2022, making him a real shooter on top of a scorer. That's exactly the profile the Lakers needed: someone who keeps the offense moving when Doncic rests, creates his own shot, and picks up some of the playmaking load LeBron left behind. That matters even more since the Lakers finished near the bottom of the league in bench scoring last year. One more thing worth noting: Sexton and Kessler already played together for years in Utah, so neither of them is starting from scratch. Together, Grimes strengthens the perimeter and Sexton steadies the second unit. If Grimes and Sexton fix the backcourt, Sandro Mamukelashvili could fix the frontcourt. Kessler couldn't do everything alone. The Lakers still needed a forward to pair with him on offense, add scoring depth, and give them options in the playoffs. They think they found that in Mamu. LA signed the 27-year-old to a 4-year, $52 million deal, coming off one of his best seasons yet. In 80 games last year, he averaged 11.2 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 1.9 assists on 52% shooting, and a sharp 38.9% from three, finishing 6th in Sixth Man of the Year voting. The numbers only tell half the story though. Where Kessler's value lives near the rim, Mamu stretches the floor. He scores from outside, attacks closeouts, and can share the front court with another big. That lets the Lakers play two bigs at once without wrecking their spacing. That showed up even more in his 13 starts last year, where he put up 15.9 points, 2.9 assists, 1.3 steals, and over 2 threes a game, shooting 56% from the field and 41.4% from deep. Even off the bench, he upgrades a second unit that couldn't create anything last season. At 27, he fits right in next to Luka, Reeves, Kessler, and the rest of the new core, which really sums up the whole offseason. The Lakers got different, and they got younger. That started in the draft, with Cameron Carr at pick 24, a 6'5" guard whose athleticism, shot-making, and defensive upside make him one of the most exciting young pieces on the roster. He scored at all 3 levels in college, and he's already shown it in Summer League. 19 points and 5 made threes in the opener against Golden State, then a 26-point night in a comeback win over Miami. Whether he's ready now or a couple years away, the pick points the same direction as everything else. They're building for what's next. Kessler brings rim protection. Grimes adds perimeter defense. Sexton gives the bench a score. Mamu adds front court spacing and versatility. Instead of chasing the biggest names, the Lakers figured out exactly what this roster needed and checked those boxes one at a time. And it's no coincidence that almost all of it matches what Luka asked for. There's still work to do. They've already filled the backup center spot with 3-time champion Kevin Looney on a minimum deal, and they'll probably keep adding cheap vets before the season starts. But compared to a few weeks ago, this roster is younger, deeper, and built with a much clearer plan. Is it enough to compete in the West? We'll find out soon. But one thing is already certain. This is not the same Los Angeles Lakers. But there's one part of this offseason you can't ignore. Building it this way came at a real cost. Every move cost the Lakers something, and none cost more than the Kessler trade. To land him, LA sent Utah 2 future first-round picks and 2 pick swaps, then handed Kessler 4 years and $130 million. That's a massive price for a player with just one full breakout season and one serious injury on his record. And the cost doesn't stop there. The Lakers are now paying Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and Walker Kessler roughly $475 million combined over the coming years. They entered free agency with over $50 million million in cap space, and they've spent almost all of it. The Ayton trade brought back a little relief with Jaden Hardy and 2 second-round picks, but not enough to change much. Worse, there's barely anything left to trade. No tradable first-round picks, just one open first-round slot. They still have 3 second-round picks, but real gaps remain, a backup center and another defensive wing chief among them. Now look at the competition. Oklahoma City and San Antonio both got better while keeping most of their future assets. Unlike them, the Lakers have already pushed nearly all their chips to the center of the table, which means this bet has to pay off. This is Pelinka's first roster built completely for the post-LeBron era, and it rests almost entirely on Kessler becoming the player they're betting he can be. If he turns into an elite defensive anchor next to Luka, this trade could shape the next era of Lakers basketball. If he doesn't, they'll be short on picks and cap flexibility to fix it fast. That's the gamble. So no, this isn't the same Lakers team, not the same roster, and definitely not the same level of risk. They've stopped building around who LeBron used to be and started building around who Luka Doncic is right now. Whether this becomes the smartest reset in years or the gamble that defines Pelinka's career and Luka's prime, we start getting real answers in October. This is Luka Doncic's team now, built around his game, built for his timeline, and built with one goal: chasing a championship. So which is it? Did the Lakers just pull off one of the smartest resets in years, or did they give up too much trying to build the perfect team around Luka? Drop your take in the comments, and if you want to follow this new Lakers era all season long, do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe, because trust me, there's a lot more coming.